I never wanted to be a mom. I lived a full life. I traveled, I had a job, a great husband. Why would I want to ruin that with kids? I remember my friends talking about their biological clocks ticking, and I thought, if I have a biological clock, I'm pretty confident that mine is stuck blinking 12 o'clock. Kids were not going to be in the picture for me, which made it interesting when one day I was sitting in church, and I swear to you, I heard the voice of God saying to me, "You should adopt a child. Your life will be blessed because of it." Now, I didn't want children. I knew I must have gotten this message by accident, so I looked at the lady that's sitting next to me and I thought, this must be her message. Good luck with that one, lady. But then a couple of months later, "You should adopt a child. Your life will be blessed because of it." No thanks, God. Plenty blessed. Appreciate the offer, though. I'm good. And then a month later, "You should adopt a child. Your life will be blessed because of it." And this message, it just kept coming over and over, and it kept coming more frequently until finally I just said, fine. If I look into it, will you leave me alone? And so we did. We checked out a class, my husband and I, at our church on foster and adoption care. I went there to get some more information, not realizing that this was actually the 10-week course that you take to get licensed to become foster parents. Surprise! We kept coming back, and we learned about the process, about the kids and bonding and attachment disorder. And we learned about how oftentimes foster families will foster children for up to 2 years before their parental rights might be terminated, making them eligible for adoption. And I actually liked that because that gave me an out. It was plenty safe for me. And that's what made us decide to become a licensed foster family. And that was January of 2012. 2 months later, we get a call from the agency. What age children were you interested in? 6 to 10. Why? Well, we've got a boy. He's 10 years old. His parental rights have already been terminated. He's living with a family right now, but their foster license is getting ready to expire in 2 months, and we really need to find an adoptive home for him right away. Are you interested? I wasn't, but to be polite, I said, well, what's he like? He's into Legos and video games. He's pretty quiet. He struggles a lot in school, but he's a good kid. Well, what's his name? His name? His name is Isaac. Ugh. Isaac. Now, I never wanted to have biological children, but had I ever had a boy, I would have named him Isaac. It means child of laughter. Gosh darn it, God. Okay, we'll meet him. And we did. That Saturday night, he came to our house under the guise of babysitting. And I remember nervously opening that front door, and there on the other side was this little boy with big brown eyes. And you know those moments when you can't explain it, you just meet somebody and you know your lives are meant to be connected? Well, I didn't feel that. He came in and we got to know each other over games and dinner. And by the end of the night, it was okay. Okay enough that he came back the next week, and actually the week after that. It was in those 3 weeks that we had to decide whether or not we were going to adopt him. Because if it wasn't us, they had to find another family. And those were the hardest 3 weeks of my life. Would we say no to this child who needed a family? Would we make this stranger, this 10-year-old person, a permanent part of our family after knowing him just a few times? I struggled with this big time. So much so that my husband at one point looked at me and he said, "Janelle, do you even want to do this?" And through my tears, I said, "No, I don't. But I think we're supposed to, that our lives will be blessed because of it." And that was it. We said yes to the boy and yes to the agency and ultimately yes to God. He moved in a month later. And I remember he came with just a few bags of belongings and multiple bags of emotional trauma. It was hard. He didn't trust us, and frankly, I don't blame him. There were things that he did and he said those first few months that just pierced my heart. And I was an awkward young mom, and I remember at one point saying to God, you said I was going to be blessed. You call this a blessing? But over the next few months, we got to know each other, and trust built, and walls came tumbling down. And out came moments of joy. Moments like when he stopped calling me Janelle and trusted me enough to call me Mom. Moments of laughter. Moments of listening to carpool karaoke and laughing our heads off in the car. Moments of playing, of watching him make friends for the first time in his life, of watching him face his fears and conquer things from his past. And over these past 5 years, I'll tell you some of my greatest joys when he just comes and gives me a hug. And I think as I hold him, I almost miss this. I can't imagine my life without my son. And I am so grateful that we adopted this child. And my life has absolutely been blessed because of it.